Good morning, everybody. This is Alan Chell, Account Manager for ABC Computers, and we're going to start our presentation here in just a second. We have a pretty big crowd here. I do see that there's a lot of familiar names on the list, and I see that we have several people that are still joining, but I'd like to get things going. Today we are joined by Tara Grant, which is the Director of Channel Development for Jet Reports, and she's going to be going over her business intelligence solution for Jet Reports, which is the standard reporting package for NAV. So I'm going to go ahead and turn some things over to Tara, and we will be fielding questions at the end of the presentation. If you'd like to raise your hand or type me a question, I'll make sure that we do call on you in the end. With that, Tara, go ahead and take it away.
Thanks, Alan. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the How to Go from Basic Reporting to BI webinar today. For those of you, just as we get started, who maybe are new to taking a look at Jet Reports or familiarizing yourself with the Excel integrated reporting and BI solutions, I just want to kind of cover what Jet Reports is. We actually support over 60,000 users worldwide on reporting for NAV. So we are the #1 third-party reporting solution for Dynamics NAV. We have customers in over 50 countries as well as offices in 20 of those. And we're a strategic Microsoft partner that offers customer service in 24 different time zones. So Excel and reporting is really all we do, and it's what we're going to focus on today in our presentation. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with operational reporting for NAV, and that's using the Jet Essentials solution. Jet Essentials is probably something most people have been exposed to. Again, it is the #1 reporting solution for NAV, and it provides real-time operational reporting. Then I want to explain a little bit about how BI, which is just such a huge buzzword right now, is different from operational reporting, and why do organizations implement business intelligence alongside their reporting solution, and what does that offer? So I hope that everybody finds the content valuable today. I'm sure you're going to learn a couple things about reporting, about Excel, maybe even about NAV. So let's go ahead and get things started. So again, the first solution that I want to review is the Jet Essentials solution. Now, you'll notice that my presentation file is somewhat strategically placed inside of Excel instead of PowerPoint, and that's because Jet is an Excel add-in. So absolutely everything that Jet does with reporting and BI, which you'll see later, is done using the Jet ribbon that adds into the existing Excel application. So you'll notice here that I have all these report, refresh, and design functionalities here inside of Excel, and I'm connected to my Dynamics NAV database in all of my NAV companies. Now, Jet Essentials, which we're going to cover here first, is a real-time reporting solution, meaning that when I create reports and I run reports, it's all coming from the production database real time. So when you refresh something, if you posted even 2 seconds before that, it's going to show up in the report. Now, a Jet Essentials will connect to the entire NAV database. So it's going to read all the tables in all the fields, including flow fields and third-party customizations that you have within Dynamics NAV. Now, this nifty drag-and-drop browser, which I'm going to show you in more detail here shortly, you can actually see a list of all the tables within NAV. And if I were to go to the customer table, for instance, notice that all the fields here populate on the right-hand side, including the calculated flow fields from NAV. Now, what I'm going to show you momentarily is that you can create custom reports directly in Excel just by dragging and dropping exactly what you're wanting to see into the Excel workbook. And then we're going to leverage the Excel functionality and formatting and calculation capabilities to make our report look exactly how we want, and then we can just automate that report from there on out in Excel. So just a few key points about Jet Essentials. Again, it's real-time. It integrates with all of Dynamics NAV, and it will consolidate or unconsolidate companies. So we'll also go through company consolidation and being able to report from multiple companies and NAV simultaneously. Another thing that we'll look at is automated distribution and control through the Jet Report Scheduler right here, and doing advanced filtering and creating document-level reports. So again, if you're familiar with Excel, you're most of the way there with Jet Essentials. So let's go back to that drag and drop browser in the customer table, and let's create a quick Excel report for NAV. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select the fields that I want. So we'll go select the name, customer number. Let's go in and select their sales. Well, how about their salesperson, sales, and profit. Now that I've selected the fields just by holding down the control key in the drag and drop browser, you're going to notice that I'm able to actually just drag and drop that directly into my Excel workbook. This isn't a separate interface, and there is no, there's nothing between Excel and what I want to pull from my report. I can actually format this now using Excel functionality. Now what you're seeing here is what we call the template mode of the report. And that's because Jet actually uses its own set of formulas that appear right here in the Excel formula function bar. So what this is saying is that I'm going to pull rows from the customer table with those fields that I just selected by dragging and dropping them into Excel. If I were to actually run the report by clicking the refresh button, I'm going to get the results. So I'm going to see what the report is going to ultimately look like. So notice if I click refresh, it's going to go back to NAV, and it's going to pull the information in real time for all of my customers, the salesperson, their total sales, and total profit. Now this is obviously a very simple example. Chances are that you're going to want to see maybe customers in a particular region, you want to see this report for all of your companies, or maybe you just want to see sales and profits within a certain timeline, right? Well, I haven't applied any filters here, any graphing, or any calculations at all. And one of the easiest things about working with Jet Reports and all of your reports in Excel is that if you ever want to make a change, an alteration to the report, all you have to do is hit design mode. And it's going to take you back to the formula that and that template mode that creates the report so you can make changes and add filters. I'm going to go ahead and scoot this over. What most people are used to is having to re-export a report, reformat it, and recalculate it on it. And this simply eliminates all of that. So what I want to do is I want to add calculations first of all. So in order to do that, I'm just going to leverage Excel. I'm going to go to my home ribbon and add some subtotals here. Now these subtotals will automatically populate with the information that comes real time from Dynamics NAV. And I never have to add the calculation again. It will always do that based on the filtered criteria. If you also have things like maybe you just want to calculate costs or something like that, you could always subtract your sales from your profits. And again, notice that I'm just using Excel functionality to add calculations to my report so that they can always calculate in there. Excel 2010 also has some nifty conditional formatting. So here's a little Excel trick if you haven't used these before. On the home ribbon, there's these things called data bars and icon sets. These are such a great way to see how your data compares and see trends in your data without even necessarily applying graphs on the individual numbers. So like a data bar will do a gradient bar graph fill based on how the numbers compare within a particular column. If you're wanting to know how if costs or average, increasing or decreasing, you can also use the icon sets, which look even like stoplights. So if I run the report now and I click refresh, notice that it's going to graph out all of my sales based on the numbers and how they compare. Now let's go ahead and go back into design mode again, and let's add some filter sets. Now what Jet is doing again is it's creating a formula directly inside of Excel. And you can actually access this formula by clicking on the JFX button on the Jet menu. new item. And notice that it has the option to include filters. Now this is obviously really important because you're going to want to filter on your data from NAV. So if I wanted to do a date filter, for instance, for the sales and profit, I can always put in a date filter. And I'm just going to do the whole year of 2006, just so I can make sure I still bring in data. I also may want to only see customers that actually have sales activities. So we can always go in and add a filter for sales, and I can, let's just go ahead and select not equal to 0. So we'll be sure to get in customers who've had sales activity within the year of 2006. You can apply a filter even if it doesn't appear within the report itself. So for instance, if you just wanted to filter on customers within a certain state, you can do that as well. All the NAV filter operators apply here. So you'll notice that when I have the option to filter on things, I can select ranges, greater than, and the wildcard filter that you're used to using in NAV, and those can apply here. So now I'm going to click OK, and I'm going to even add a graph using, again, you got it, Excel functionality. So let's go ahead and add a pie chart so we can see how sales compare amongst each customer who had sales in 2006. And then I'm even going to do something a little bit more advanced here. I want this sales report to actually run for each NAV company that I have. So I'm going to just go back to the browser, and we're going to use 2 tables here to get this information. Because now I'm going to go to the company table, and instead of pulling by rows, I'm going to pull by sheets the company name. And now all I have to do is filter in my report the company equals whatever appears on the sheet for that report. So it doesn't look like anybody in Cronus East Canada has sales in 2006, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and click refresh. And you can see here, at least my U.S. companies, I now have a report for each company. It's only showing me customers that have sales within that year, and it's automatically applying the conditional formatting, and it created the new report for each company that I have in NAV. Now again, I'm still doing some relatively simple reports. Here's an example of some reports that have already been created. Now what's great is that you can take reports that have been created with Jet Essentials, and you can distribute them to other people who can just refresh reports. So a user can use Excel reports, and they can click on the refresh button. They can change the filter criteria, so maybe they just want to see 10 customers. We'll keep it for 2006. They can select certain posting groups if they want to here. And when they run the report, it's going to go in and it's going to refresh the report to the real-time data inside of NAV. So maybe that was a bad posting group. Let's do all our posting groups. Sorry about that. Let's pick a different report. Let's go to our income statement by period. So again, a lot of our customers set up their financial statements in here, for instance. So a monthly income statement can be a quarterly, yearly. A user can actually change if they want to see year over year, quarter over quarter, and Jet Essentials will dynamically populate the report based on the filtered criteria. So again, if I wanted to go in and change this to monthly for the full year of 2000 and click run, it's going to go back to NAV, and now it's going to pull out a month-by-month income statement real time. It will also drill into the details of the report, so if you wanted to see what made up the retail numbers, and all this drill down is automatic. It will pull up a list of all the transactions. You can also set Jet Reports to drill back into the database, back into NAV, and take you directly to the transactions there as well. Once a report is created, it can also be scheduled to run automatically. So if we wanted to set up a task for our top item sales report, we can schedule this to run on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis. And it will actually distribute automatically the updated Excel file to the list of recipients you choose. So if we selected the weekly, let's go ahead and select the weekly option, and we wanted to have this run at 8 o'clock a.m. every Monday and Friday, so the beginning and the end of every week. Then we can even put in an email distribution list here, and these people will receive the Excel attachment of the updated report. Now, if you give them a viewer license in Jet Reports, they can refresh it and change the filter criteria, but they cannot change the design of the report. If you don't want them to have a viewer license or any refresh capability, again, it'll just be a static Excel file, because all of the reports ultimately are Excel files. You can even have the scheduler automatically output the report to a PDF. So if you want it to be a little more mobile friendly, or you want it to be, stagnant and not within a workbook, you can do that as well. The scheduler has a lot of advanced options, posting out to network locations, pointing it to a SharePoint library, that we're not going to cover in today's presentation, but it is a very powerful tool that can automate all the reports once you have them created with Jet. Now, there are a lot of different tools within Jet Essentials to help you design reports. I just use the drag and drop browser in our little sales, profit, and cost example here. There's everything from a table builder wizard to a report builder, and all of these are powerful to get you the outcome of the report you want. You really can have the report look any way that you want inside of Excel, as you can kind of see with some of these examples. Again, a user with Jet, a viewer user, can just open these Excel reports and click refresh at any time, and then change, again, of course, the filter criteria and run the report to the real-time data in NAV. This is a nice financial analysis report that will show you your 3-month trend on revenue, and it has an income statement and cash flow all within the same workbook. So you can even combine reports within an individual workbook that will then go back and refresh to NAV all at the same time. Now, again, what I'm reviewing right now is Jet Essentials. Everything that we're doing is coming from the inherent data structure of NAV, right? We're going to the customer table, the company table, customer ledger entries, to pull the information together and have it look exactly how we want in Excel. This is primarily used, again, for transactional-based reporting, reports that are based off transactions for a short period of time, as well as for my financial reporting statements, things like that. But what I want to cover next is BI and Jet Enterprise. Again, I think quite a few of you have been exposed to the Jet Essentials solution that we just covered. But everybody, one of our most common questions we get right now at Jet Reports is, well, what is with BI? What does this mean? What is business intelligence, and how is that really different from the reports I can get out of either NAV or Jet Essentials? And I think that's a really important topic to cover, so that is what I'm going to do next. Jet Enterprise is a full business intelligence solution add-on. I really want to emphasize add-on because a lot of people think business intelligence is going to override and replace their reporting, and that is not the case. Business intelligence in Jet Enterprise merely complements the operational reporting capabilities of something like Jet Essentials. So what is business intelligence really? Well, as you'll notice with internal NAV reports, with Jet Essentials that we just covered, with any operational reporting tool, it's relying on the inherent data structure of NAV, or what we call the raw data. Okay, I have this nice little icon, or I guess picture, to kind of explain what I'm talking about here. NAV, and if we go back to the browser, is on average made up of about 1,000 different tables. And within those tables, there are about 10,000 on average different fields. So there's a, just like any database, there is a complex data model behind all the stuff that you're entering into NAV on a daily basis. And with Jet Essentials, we can, of course, go to the individual components and pull that out and get the real-time information. But what happens when you want to start to see the bigger picture? You want to see what a lot of people refer to as KPIs, or key performance indicators of your business. You're wanting to see how sales and profits compare. You're wanting to see that alongside different item category sales or salespeople's performance. And you want to see that over a trending long period of time. Well, what happens is you're starting to involve what can often be a lot of different transactions, maybe millions in many people's cases. And not only that, you're requiring information from a lot of different parts of the database, right? You're looking at purchaser information, you're looking at financial information and sales information and item and inventory information all at the same time. Well, your raw data model and your raw database doesn't really facilitate that. So in comes business intelligence in the data warehouse and cube environment. What we do with Jet Enterprise is we deliver a standard data warehouse for NAV. So what is a data warehouse? Well, data warehouse is taking a copy of your raw database, all those tables and all those fields, and it's organizing it, subjectizing it, bringing in only the relevant data and cleaning it. So that's what the second step of BI, right here in my nice little truck and people part of my picture there. Think of the data warehouse as maybe only 50 different tables, and it's all cleaned to only contain the relevant data only, and then it's a dedicated reporting repository, essentially, where it's keyed for performance, and it's easy to get the information out. That is the data warehouse. From that data warehouse is the key to all BI, and that is the cube. The cube is where the users can go in and pull in any information. It dimensionalizes your data. Think about a cube as more like reporting subject. So when Jet Enterprise is in place, this cube icon is active on the Jet Essentials add-in, still inside of Excel. So we're still going to leverage all Excel functionality here. Notice that when I go to pull information from a cube, I get more like, again, reporting subjects. I don't have to know, okay, customer ledger entry, purchaser, item table, customer table. I just simply go to the sales cube, or I go to the finance cube, depending on the analytics that I'm going to want to get for my business. Momentarily, you're going to see how easy it is for any user without knowing NAV in any capacity to pull key data about the business on the fly using this cube environment. But to give you an idea of how the layout is different and what the output can be with BI, I'm just going to pop open this sales dashboard here. This was created, again, from the cube environment, because now I can see side by side, how do my sales and my profits compare over a 5-year period? And how is that allocated across my different item categories, my different product groups, or my different salespeople that are selling them? Now, let's say I'm in management, whether it's sales, financial management, CEO, CFO, and I really just want to see what our performance was in 2010 for clocks and watches. Well, I can just simply select 2010 clocks and watches, and the KPIs of that particular period are going to update instantly on my dashboard. I don't have to wait. I don't run a report, and I'm not going to the production database for the information. Again, it's going back to that business intelligence environment that's completely keyed for analytics. Now, this is just one dashboard example. I can go to a sales dashboard here as well, where again you can see the trends of the sales and the profits over time. Now, this is just a sales example. There's financial dashboards, inventory dashboards, looking at where inventory movement is. All of this is facilitated through the Jet Enterprise environment. So Now these dashboards are great, but you're probably wondering, okay, how, and this looks complicated, how would I even create those? Well, these dashboards do come out of the box along with probably about 20 more different other dashboards from financials to items, AR, AP, purchasing. But one of the advantages to Enterprise and to BI is how easy it is for any user with minimal to no training to actually create these and create queries on their own using that and leveraging that cube environment again. So I'm going to open up a blank workbook and go back to the cube. So what a cube does is it organizes your data in what's called metrics and dimensions. So let's open the sales cube to create a quick sales dashboard. And I'll show you guys some other dashboard examples as well. But notice that now, instead of all the different tables and all the different fields and NAV, I just simply have a set of metrics and dimensions. Metrics are just simply numerical values, i.e. KPIs, key performance indicators about your business, and dimensions are what you want to slice and dice those numerical values by. Not traditional NAV dimensions, although those are a part of the dimensions in a cube, but again, dimensions of the data. Now also notice that cubes, they add on a new piece to the database. It's called a three-dimensional database, because things like average profit, average unit price, average unit cost, profit percentage, cost of goods sold in a lot of cases. These are not actual items within NAV itself. They are calculated, and they're calculated on the back end with a cube so that everybody gets one version of the truth, and it's calculated against all the different possibilities you're going to want to see it. And I'm going to show you that here. So let's say we want to see sales and profit percent. Okay, now notice how those numbers, even though they're made up of as many transactions as it is in any database, they instantly appear within our pivot table here. And what do we want to see these by? Well, maybe you want to see it by company, or maybe you're wanting to see it by item category. Okay, so by company, by item category, within a matter of seconds, I can see how sales, profits, and profit percentages are broken down. How about, and notice too that if we wanted to see it by subcategory, all of that is already pre-calculated within the cube. So I can even get down into the individual item. Maybe you want to see this information year over year, so by year, by item category. So now you can see for 2007 what were awards and recognition, 2008, 2009, 2010. Again, it breaks down instantly. And maybe you don't want to see the item category. Maybe you just want to see your sales quarter over quarter. So notice how easy it is for me. All I'm using and leveraging is Excel pivot tables here. If you don't know Excel pivot tables, we have a great training on it, but you can also look it up online. Within about 20 minutes, I was able to familiarize myself with pivot tables inside of Excel. And what they do is they offer a very quick and easy way to see the data and dashboard this data out. So if I wanted to see the trends, insert slicers with Excel 2010 again, I can automatically consolidate or unconsolidate companies just by checking the company slicer box. Notice that I can just look at this by item category or by different years. And now when I put these in here, I've created a dashboard without having to know anything about NAV, anything about the layout of the table field structure, and now in a matter of minutes, I can always come back to this dashboard and see exactly what my analysis of sales and profits are by item category, by company, by year. This same exact process is how these, what were probably looking seemingly complex to you at first, dashboards were created. They're just a series of pivot tables. Now the advantage of JET Enterprise is that the JET cubes integrate with the, again, operational real-time reporting functionality. So you have that all side by side. In addition to that, we deliver 6 pre-built cubes for NAV, and we install them in less than 2 hours. That means that absolutely everything that you've seen here that we've done can be up and running on your database in 2 hours, where a lot of times the conversation around BI can resolve into 2 months or 2 years even on implementation. We don't do that. We deliver a finance, purchasing, inventory, AP, AR, and sales cube. We deliver a standard data warehouse, and then here's the best part. We also deliver the back end, if you have any IT or DBA professionals on staff, to customize the cubes, build cubes, all in-house. And we do that through the Jet Data Manager. We also offer services, of course, to customize the cubes for you upon installation if you prefer. So things like your custom fields, all of that will need to be incorporated within the enterprise environment, in addition to, obviously, the standard cubes. Now, Jet Enterprise will also consolidate data sources. So if you want to have information from a payroll system or another SQL database, all within the same cube and warehouse environment, so you can report from them basically simultaneously without users even having to know which data source to go to, all of those can be wrapped into the Jet Enterprise environment. So again, you're going to get a dedicated reporting database, data warehouse, cubes, the ability to connect multiple data sources, and even customize the cubes in-house, all with the Jet Enterprise solution. Now, keep in mind that Jet Enterprise and BI in general, all this data is synchronized with the live data at given intervals of time. So again, this Jet Data Manager, I'll open it up real quick right here for anybody on the call who is familiar with the NAV database. But this is where all the power of the Jet BI and the Jet Enterprise solution exists. So this is where you can customize the cubes, manage the security, and set up the synchronization. So you may want the cubes to synchronize with live data overnight. You may want to have the cubes synchronized with them every couple hours. It's completely up to you. And again, this Jet Data Manager server is included with the Jet Enterprise solution. All right, so within a very short period of time, we've covered a lot of ground on Excel integrated reporting and BI capabilities that are built for NAV, and they're also delivered at an extreme value. Where, again, a lot of people, when they talk in the realm of BI, they're looking at 6 figures, and we're only looking at 4. So this is a great opportunity to implement either operational reporting, business intelligence, or both. Before we close out and open up the floor for questions, I just want to let everybody know that we do have June is kind of a big time in the software and the dynamic software world, so we do have specials running through the end of the month. If any of you are running Jet Essentials and you want to upgrade to Enterprise, we are offering $500 off that package plus a free designer. If you do not have any Jet solutions in place, we are offering that same offer on any new packages, whether it's Essentials or Enterprise. And ABC Computers can get you a quote. We're also offering 15% off additional licensing, designers, viewers, and connectors for any current customer on the call that may be running Jet Essentials or Jet Enterprise already. So again, I know that we covered a lot of ground here as far as reporting versus BI, what does one offer over the other. I did a few little Excel conditional formatting tricks for you, and maybe even showed you a little bit about pivot tables. So I want to just put open a thank you screen here, but what I really want to do is open this up for questions. Alan can help facilitate this with me, but there is a questions box on your GoToWebinar screen, and you can also raise your hand and be unmuted. Alan can unmute you if you just want to ask the questions over.
Yeah, that's great, Terry. Yeah, if anybody does have any questions, once again, they can either type them in and Tara will see them, or if you have a microphone and like to raise your hand, I'd be more than happy to unmute you. But there is quite a few people on the call, so I'm not going to unmute everybody. Tara, that was a really powerful statement. 6 pre-built cubes in 2 hours. That BI's come a long way since 5 or 6 years ago, hasn't it?
Absolutely.